Welcome to our presentation. My name is Samuel Maina. I work for the company called Equatorial Nut Processors Ltd as the project manager. The company is located in Kenya. Welcome to the presentation for the energy innovation for sustainable processing and manufacturing in African agri-food. Equatorial Nut Processors, shortly known as ENP, is a wholly owned Kenyan agro-processing private company. The company was founded in 1993 as a food processing factory in Murang'a. Murang'a is in central part of Kenya. Initially, the company focused in the processing of macadamia nuts, cashew nuts, and peanuts, and then it diversified into fortified foods in the year 2013. Looking at a high-level organizational structure for the company is that we have a board of directors. Then for the company, we have two divisions. One is the nuts division and then the fortified foods division. The nuts division is headed by a general manager, while the fortified foods division is headed by a chief executive officer. We also have a finance director who manages the financial matters for the two divisions under the umbrella of the Equatorial Nut Processors Company. Now, looking at fortified foods, which forms the basis for this presentation, is that the factory processes fortified blended foods, what we call FBFs, which are highly nutritious and energetic foods. These foods are supplied to various regions facing hunger to prevent and manage what we call mild acute malnutrition. About 90% of FBFs are supplied to countries in the Horn of African region. This means then we have a very strong partnership with the humanitarian organizations which include World Food Program, UNHCR, ICRC, among others. And also, we also have close collaboration with the government through the Ministry of Health, Ministry of Education for the school feeding program, Ministry of Devolution, and other private hospitals. The factory has a capacity to process 60 metric tons of fortified foods per day and an annual capacity of 18,000 metric tons. As we are going to show in the next slide, power is the biggest cost outside of raw materials along the processing line, and this is especially at the extrusion stage. So the process flow for the factory is that after receiving raw materials, they are cleaned. After cleaning, then we go to coarse milling, which then goes to proportioning, then we go to extrusion. After extrusion, that base product is cooled, then it's milled again, what we call fine milling, then it's fortified. After fortification, it's filled and packaged accordingly. If you look at the operational cost for the factory, as you can see, the largest contributor of costs is the personnel who are involved with direct production. Then after that, you find that the other cost is power at 27%, closely matching the personnel, the human resources at the personnel at the production level, and the least then it becomes to repairs and spares. If we focus closer to power consumption, you realize that the biggest consumer of power, as I mentioned, is the extrusion stage, which consumes up to 75%. The extrusion scenario is that the factory has 3 extruders whose performance is 1 metric tons per hour, and from the growth of the business, we find that the demand is outstripping the processing capacity. So this has made the company toward the last quarter of 2021 to design a plan to increase the processing capacity from the current 60 metric tons a day to 100 metric tons a day. This means that we will need an addition of 2 new extruders, and consequently then what it means is that power consumption will continue to increase, hence the power bills. and this will continue to be a big contributor to the costs. So the innovations we are looking at is any innovation to save on power that will go a long way into sustaining factory operations in a cost-effective way. The company calls for partners who can assist to formulate strategies that will help save on power, especially at the extrusion stage. Any innovation is welcome, but what on top of our mind we are looking at is any green energy and other new technologies that are energy efficient, and also we are open into collaborating to try new promising technologies. Thank you very much.